Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. Here is the story of a homeless man who spent 27 winters on the street. In the winter of 2006, a homeless man from Portland named Roger went to a local church to get some food, but this time he didn't get anything. It was just one of those days when you don't feel like eating no matter how hungry you are. But hunger wasn't Roger's biggest problem. In fact, there were much bigger problems that would soon come out in the open. After getting nothing to eat, Roger decided to go back to his usual place by the bus stop where he slept. But when he arrived there, he saw a young mother with her baby sitting on the bench. They looked cold, very cold. The woman was wearing torn clothes, and the little baby was wrapped in a thin blanket. This touched Roger's heart, and he decided to help them out. The old man took off his own blanket, the only thing he had to protect himself from the cold, and gave it to the woman and the baby. She thanked him very much, but the old man told her not to mention it. "I don't need it anyway," he said. However, after this episode, the weather got much colder. Temperatures dropped to unimaginable numbers. So without his blanket, Roger spent several nights freezing on the sidewalk. And although people sometimes gave him money, it wasn't enough to survive the winter. The homeless man had never felt so bad before. But then came spring and things started to improve for Roger. People passing by the bus stop began to give him more money, and after a few months, the old man even managed to buy himself a new blanket. But still, every time he saw the family of the woman with the baby, he couldn't help but wonder how they were doing. Was the baby healthy? Did the mother manage to get on her feet? Over the years, Roger kept asking these questions, but instead of finding answers, he learned that no one knew anything about the family. Soon, another winter arrived, then another one, and then another one. In total, the homeless man spent 27 harsh winters on the street. During all this time, he never forgot about the family, and he kept hoping to see them again someday. But one day, when Roger was already 67 years old, fate finally gave him a chance to find out what had happened to them. One morning, a social worker named Crystal approached the old man. She wanted to take him to the doctor because she thought he needed a checkup. The homeless man refused at first, but Crystal insisted. "Please, Mr. Rogers, I'm only trying to help you," she said. Roger agreed and soon found himself in a hospital bed. At first, the doctor just asked the homeless man a few questions and examined him. But then they did something that shocked Roger. The doctor handed him a phone. "This is for you," he said. When Roger picked up the receiver and heard the other person's voice, he froze. It was the same woman whose life he saved many years ago. She and her daughter Crystal had been searching for Roger for a long time. After a while, the call ended with a word of thanks from the woman. "Roger, I'm so grateful to you for what you did all those years ago. Without your help, me and my mom would have frozen to death. I have never forgotten what you did for us." Roger couldn't say a word. He was speechless. All these years, the woman hadn't forgotten about him, and now she wanted to thank him through her child's hands. "What can I do for you?" The homeless man finally managed to say. "I want to build you a house. A cozy house where you can spend your last years comfortably," the woman replied. Roger refused at first. He didn't want to bother her, but when he heard the sound of gratitude in her voice, he agreed. A few weeks later, Roger moved into his new home. It was a small but very cozy house with everything the homeless man needed: food, clothes, a TV, and most importantly, there was a comfortable bed that Roger had never slept in before. But soon, not only Roger moved into the house, his new friend, Crystal, also lived there. She became the homeless man's caretaker, taking care of him and making sure he ate on time. Roger really liked the girl, and he often treated her like a granddaughter. The rest of the time, Roger spent watching TV or sitting on the porch, enjoying the beautiful view. His house was located on the outskirts of the city, surrounded by a forest. Every morning, Crystal took Roger for walks in the woods. The air there was always fresh and clean, which helped the old man breathe easier. Besides that, the woman often invited her friends over. Together, they played cards and talked about various topics. True, sometimes the conversations got too loud and Roger couldn't fall asleep, but nevertheless, the company was nice. As time passed, Roger got used to his new life. He enjoyed his breakfast, watching TV, walks in the forest, and talking with Crystal. Life was good. However, the homeless man couldn't fully enjoy it. After all, he was already 74 years old. There weren't many years left in his life, and he realized that. That's why Roger often talked to Crystal about his past. The girl listened patiently to all his stories and once asked if she could write a book based on them. "My story isn't interesting," Roger said. "It's just the story of an ordinary homeless man." "No, it's an amazing story and it deserves to be told. You lived through so much and now you have a happy ending. Who wouldn't want to read that?" Crystal replied. Roger thought about it for a moment and agreed. Thus, a year after moving into the house, the old man published his memoirs. The book was titled 27 Winters on the Street. At first, the homeless man was too shy to talk about his book. However, later, when he saw how popular it was, he was very happy for Crystal. The girl put all her savings into publishing the book, and now it was paying off. "You know, Crystal, I'm so glad you published my story," Roger said one day. "You gave me much more than I could have ever hoped for in my wildest dreams." From that day on, the relationship between Roger and Crystal became even closer. They often talked about various topics, including the book. When Roger felt unwell, Crystal would stroke his hand and say, "Don't worry, I won't leave you alone." And Roger believed her. He knew his story had a happy ending, and that was all thanks to a kind woman who gave him a chance at a better life. One small act of kindness can change a life forever. What's the kindest thing someone has ever done for you? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to read them. And if this video touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can spread more kindness together.